Hello, sisters and brothers, near and far. This is a little bit of a channel pivot. Not completely. There's still some investing talk on here, but I feel like it's important just because I've seen some friends navigating aspects of this in our present world, and it doesn't have to just apply to single dads or single parents. It's just parenting in general. I've been a single dad for about 14 years, and the best thing that ever happened to me. Also, I did lose a child some years back, so I have a perspective, probably with some urgency. Not panic, but just recognizing that there's a bit of urgency and importance to parenting. So I'd seen some friends kind of navigate some issues with our present world. Obviously, every state of the world has its pluses and minuses since forever, right? But we do have a lot of distraction and technology and connectivity, and our kids are on phones and screens, and I think there's a greater proliferation of the world's going to end, and this is a problem, and that's a problem, and that can weigh on our kids. And I think it's something that we do have to kind of moderate and be aware of. Every kid is different. There is no one right way to parent a child or children. But I would say, from my perspective, seeing people kind of wrestle with this and seeing people kind of having their kids become things they tolerate, and that may or may not be you. If it is you, I guess I would say you need to rethink things. Because not only are your kids counting on you, but the world is counting on you to raise decent kids, well-adjusted kids. We'll never do it perfectly. I certainly haven't. But the biggest thing that I learned straight away, the moment my kid entered the world, was that each kid is a person from the moment they hit the atmosphere. You may not believe that, but when I looked at my kid's face, I saw that there were opinions there. He didn't say a word. He was silent, just looking around like, I don't know exactly what happened here or who you people are, but I am not pleased. And his personality was reflected in his entrance into the world, and it just struck me. It was one of the biggest things that's ever happened to me, was seeing that this is a person. It's not just a little bit of me, a little bit of his mom, a little bit of the family. It's a unique individual who has absolutely zero capability to act on their needs, wants, desires, and opinions. They're completely at the mercy of the world, and specifically you. So when I say they lack the ability to act on their needs, wants, desires, and opinions, they have all those things, but they have no ability to control themselves physically, or to speak, or to tell you what they want or need or who they are. And the second thing that just came to me all at once in the delivery room, I kid you not, was that I need to figure out, no, let me restate that. I need to help my child find out who they are, what they came to do, and what best serves them in the world. Now, I wasn't able to protect them or pat every corner. I wouldn't want to, but there are certain things that you want to protect your kids from that you can't. I could not protect him from the loss of his sibling. It was impossible. Couldn't protect him from the ups and downs of just life in ways that might have better served him, because they happened so fast that I wasn't able to help him steer around them. I just had to help him learn to cope and learn to thrive in spite of certain things that happened to him. And that's a story everyone can tell. There's no one right way to do all of that. There's no one right way to recognize that your child is a unique person and that it is your job to help them figure out who they are in the world and what they came to do and how you can help them best max out their stay on the planet. But that is the biggest investment you'll ever make. And it's the best way to teach them to invest. Not every kid will want to or be designed to look into money matters or crypto or stocks and lines and charts and graphs. But every kid is trying to tell his or her parent that here's who I am and here's what I need. Here's what I need to accomplish. I can't maybe always vocalize it, so I need your help, mom, dad, guardian. I need your help in helping me figure out what that is and how to best arrive at it. And it's one of the most gratifying things you'll ever do. It is, without a doubt, the biggest investment you will make in yourself, your kid, and the world. There's no single right way to do it, except to just be watching and thinking. Parents who find themselves at odds with their kids, I know that can happen. Sometimes parents are born with kids where it's just an automatic butting of the heads. Still really no excuse not to be the best parent that you can be, and I'm going to be honest, there is a fair lack of that in some ways for various reasons. Either you lack the ability, the interest, the wherewithal to have responsibility, or you're putting other things ahead of parenting, like earning, or well, that's the big one, earning. Or maybe you have other things weighing in on your life, like health issues, your locale. You may live in a war-torn area where it's just very difficult to help your child thrive. But you, knowing that child, constantly connecting with them, having them feel that you know and recognize their importance and that the discovery of who they are and who they're going to be in the world is important, is the biggest investment you'll ever make. And for those who, for all 50 some of you who watch the channel, I still do hold AMC. I teach my kid about crypto and stocks to the degree that he seems to have interest and aptitude. But the biggest investment I teach him to make is in his own innate abilities and what he's really good at. And as distinct from the generation I grew up in, not trying to make a fish ride a bicycle. There are certain things I was never going to be good at, and people just kept hammering away at that shit. I'm not going to be good at math. Just not going to be great at it. So quit trying to make me great at it beyond a certain point. So I'm saying all this because I was in a store the other day and I heard a parent who was just really at odds and just tired of their kid. And you could hear it, just sick of their kid. And not like, it's been a long day, man, I'm just kind of worn out. You could hear that there were months and years of being sick of the kid in this person's voice. And that kind of pisses me off. Why did you have that child if you were not going to devote yourself and invest everything you had into helping that child max out who they're going to be on the planet? Because let me tell you, a child can hear in your voice when you don't really like or love them. And that is a crime that many are guilty of committing. So just stop that shit. Just stop it. If you've been doing it for a while, if that's the position you find yourself in, stop. Just turn things around, starting today. And it may seem really tough. If you've got a teenager and you've been treating them like shit for a bunch of years, you may have your work cut out for you. Do it anyway. The world is counting on you. Your kids are counting on you. So to sum up, The biggest lesson I learned the moment my son was born, and I mean the moment, he was turning from blue to pink when I looked at his face and saw that he was a person, and that my job was to figure out who he was as a person and what he needed and who he needed to become. Could I do that perfectly? No. But it's the biggest and best investment I have ever made, and it's the most gratifying thing I've ever done. At any rate, I feel that's important because I have friends who are wrestling with the state of the world and the impact that has on their kids, and I hear people in stores and in restaurants who I guess are wrestling with that too. There's no set way to do things, but if you can arrive at a mindset where you recognize that your child is a unique individual who needs your help in figuring out who they are and what they're meant to do in the world, however that looks, but with that as a kind of a guiding star, you're doing a fantastic job, and I thank you in advance for helping give the world and my son, who's going to inherit the world with your kid, maybe another person in the world who is well adjusted. And none of our kids are going to be perfectly adjusted, but the 110% effort that we put in is never misspent. Never. So, at any rate, I wish you the best. I'll probably have more to say about that because I do feel like it's the biggest investment we can make. So, that's it for now. Talk to you later.